5 most disturbing Tinder meetups. Let's run it.
Because he'd never had much success with women and he didn't consider himself too attractive, he figured he might as well try his luck with dating apps. As is often the case for average-looking guys in online dating, Alex initially didn't get a lot of attention from the kind of girls he wanted to meet up with. But things took a turn when pretty soon he got a message from a pretty blonde girl named Katie. At first, Alex assumed she was either a bot or a catfisher, as she was by far the most attractive girl who had ever paid him any real attention on the app. Being that it was his first time on the app, he didn't know entirely how to act. I mean, on the one hand, if Katie was a real girl, he didn't want to screw things up with her by ghosting her. But on the other hand, he didn't want to entertain any bot or walk into any obvious trouble. After overthinking for several hours, Alex finally decided to just ignore the text, frustrated by his unexciting introduction to online dating. But unlike most bots who usually don't message people more than once after being ignored, Katie reached out to him once again just 3 days later. In the back of his mind, he was still a little bit suspicious, but he was strongly considering the possibility that Katie was a real person. And after taking a more in-depth look at her profile, he decided to give her a chance and texted her back, thinking what's the worst that could happen.
My thing is like,
against all expectations, Alex and
maybe
Katie
it's
hit it off
just
immediately.
me, but I feel like it's
to the
not
point where
hard
they
to
were
figure out if
messaging each
something's
other pretty much every day.
a bot
Having
or
that
a
nagging feeling in the back of his
catfish.
mind that she actually wasn't real the
I'm
entire
tight.
time. He
I need you to send me a video of you going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then say Jonah Williams. Straight up.
finally asked her to prove she was real by having a video call. And she had no problem doing that. Fast forward a couple of weeks and they were having phone conversations and video calls all the time. It was pretty much clear that Katie was a real person. After talking with Alex on Tinder for about a month, Katie suggested that Alex should go and visit her. Even though he trusted her by this point, he was still hesitant to meet up with a girl he met up online, especially considering the fact that they were 8 hours apart. But Katie continued to insist, and after weighing all his options, Alex finally accepted, figuring he could
That's
take
what
off
the
a day
W
or
stand
two to
for.
go see if they actually had any in-person chemistry. When the day came, he was nervous, but the last thing he wanted to do was cancel on her.
This is my second thing. Like, what do you mean y'all talk for so long? It stands for B. I'll tell y'all one day. It's so interesting to me how y'all can talk for so long, go on video calls, this, that, and the third, but it takes so long for y'all to meet in person. Like, I'll never understand that.
So he
it's
started
not
to
Brian.
drive to Katie's place. However, not long into it, he started to notice something was a little off. She messaged him almost compulsively to ask him where it was and how long until he was going to be there. Even though she must have known Alex was driving, whenever he took more than half an hour to respond, she would spam him with texts, insisting he check his phone more often.
Oh yeah, nah.
It threw him off a bit, of course, but Alex was nervous, and so he chalked it up to her being nervous as well. He kept driving, and as he got closer to the location Katie had given him, he realized it was going to be harder than he thought to find the house. The
Y'all
directions were pretty confusing.
This horny ass nigga, bro. This is what you get for... This is your fault. This is your fault. These first links cannot be at the crib, bro. That's how you get got. Like, if you don't meet at some bar or something.
And he had to drive through
Cinnamon
a
roll
series of
sounds so
gravel
good right
roads
now.
surrounded by thick trees to get to the location. Every road kind of just looked the same. After driving around in probably multiple circles for what felt like hours, he finally made it to Katie's at about 2 p.m. He was immediately surprised by how old the house looked.
No. No, you not like, I'm not texting, I'm outside, and then just going inside
There's
this
a boarded
crib.
up window on the second floor, and the building
And it's got a boarded up window. Listen, everyone's allowed to live how they live, you know what I'm saying? Be proud of what your crib is, be proud of what you got going. But if it's first link, we gonna have to meet in public. I'm not pulling up seeing a boarded window and you just, it looks like an abandoned house and you texting, yeah, pull up, come inside. I'm not going in.
looked
That's
like
not
it
me.
had seen better days for sure. Still, he caught a glimpse of the red buggy that Katie loved to talk about over text, and feeling slightly comforted, he parked right in front of the garage. He texted her that he was there, and Katie replied with a single smiley face. It was a bit weird, but he figured that was the go-ahead to get out of the car and finally knock on the door, so he did so. And that's when he noticed an older guy staring down at him from one of the second-floor windows. The drive there had already been pretty...
Nope, you see a nigga you don't know, and then that's the thing. It should be, you should already know what you're going into. You should know if she's got roommates, if she lives with her parents. You should know all this before you pull up. So not a new random nigga just staring at you from the window. Head on home. Bust that
Be
U-turn.
strange, but this was by far the creepiest thing that had happened to him ever since he left his house. Still, he did remember one time over the phone how Katie had talked about her dad and how he would sometimes visit her, and he assumed the man on the second...
My fault, y'all. Group chat. Let me... No. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it. How motherfuckers post up after sending I'm here instead of knocking. Like, see, here's my thing though. I'm definitely I'm here type person, cause like I'm not trying to. I don't know what you got going on inside the crib. I'm not trying to doom. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to knock on your door. But this, I don't be posted up like this. I'll probably be like, I really be hitting the, what's the nigga from King of the Hill? Not King of the Hill. Kings and Queens. Like I really hit the. Like you look through the peephole. This what you gonna see. Like I'm really just chilling, like waiting for you to open the door. Like that's usually how it go. Dude, they blowing my John up. Muted. I'm quick to send that I'm here text and I'm still getting out the car. I'm quick to send that. See, my thing is I really understand the people around me. So I'm sending that I'm here text and I'm still at the light turning into the neighborhood. Because when Jonah scheduled fake text to look like he got something going on, alright, you're right. I actually just have a button going off like every 20 minutes just to make it look like, you know, it's so much motion in the phone. It's super like you got to keep that hush.
Again, going back to feeling nervous, he finally knocked on the front door where Katie appeared a few seconds later, inviting him in with a warm smile. Even though he FaceTimed her multiple times, so he pretty much already knew she was real, after all the things that had happened, he was pretty relieved to actually see her in person. She gave him a hug, and he breathed a bit of a sigh of relief. They talked for a little while, and that's when Alex asked her why she hadn't told him about her dad being there that day. Katie's face instantly showed confusion, and she responded that her dad was halfway across the country and wasn't planning on visiting for at least a few weeks. As far as she knew, she was home alone. Thinking she was obviously just trying to scare him now, Alex kind of rolled his eyes and explained how he had seen her dad looking at him through the second floor window when he got out of his car. That's when Katie's face turned an obvious pale color, and she whispered to Alex that they had to leave the house immediately. Surprised by the seriousness of her reaction, his heart kind of fell to the bottom of his chest, realizing they might be in serious danger. They went out the front door and got a good view of the house a good distance away, and that's when Alex begged for an explanation. According to Katie, she wasn't expecting any other visitors, and she didn't know who the old man was or how he had even gotten in. Alex called the police as Katie was sort of standing behind him, and that's when he heard her kind of gasp and point up at the second floor window. There again was the old man looking down at them. He looked sort of old and frail, as if he hadn't eaten in several days. As soon as he noticed that he had been noticed, he sort of backed away, slowly disappearing into the darkness of the rest of the house and out of view from Katie and Alex.
What?
Terrified from the sight, the two of them got into Alex's car, where they locked the doors and waited for police to arrive. They didn't want to fully leave the premises because they wanted to be there when the police arrived, but they also wanted some sort of safety to protect them if any sort of danger came their way from this man. Two police officers arrived about 30 minutes later. They happily searched the entire house from top to bottom.
And they didn't find the old man.
However, they didn't find anything, except the back door hanging wide open, but the man himself was nowhere to be seen inside the house.
Yeah, girl, you gotta lock your doors.
The cops couldn't really do anything at that point, so they kind of just told the two to go back inside and make sure all the doors and windows are locked, and to call them back if anything else happened. They left, and Katie, pretty understandably, was too scared to spend the night alone, and so Alex agreed to stay with her downstairs on the couch to avoid going to the second floor. Katie explained how her dad owned a shotgun, and so the two of them grabbed it and put it by their side as they sat there. They sort of tried to fall asleep, and a couple hours later, Katie actually managed to do so. But Alex sort of felt an obligation to protect her, and so...
Okay, this is another thing for all my ladies in the chat. Hey, here's what we not gonna do. One, make sure y'all doors are locked, because an old frail man sneaking into your crib is already something. Two, I don't care what type of bond, how much you think you like him. Why the fuck are you falling asleep in your home with this nigga you just, like, this was your first interaction today with the shotgun in the room? What? Like, what? What is that?
He remained awake watching TV with the shotgun now on his lap. Ever since the cops had left, the night was going pretty peacefully, and Alex, kind of forgetting about what had all happened, he even thought he might still have a chance with Katie the next day.
Wow.
But at around 2 a.m., Alex started to hear the sound of a doorknob being turned in the upstairs kitchen. Horrified, he tightened his grip on the shotgun, determined to scare away whoever was trying to get into the house.
And this is my other thing. Maybe I'm not the most upstanding man I need to be, but a woman, if this is my first time meeting this woman in person, maybe, okay, let me not say that, because it's very dependent on how long we've been on these video calls and been texting and shit. I personally don't know if I'm looking at it as my responsibility to hold this shotgun and play Five Nights at Katie's crib and just be up all night. I don't personally know if that's my campaign. I might say, yo, it's a little this was a little shaken up. Do you want to come back to my place and then, go back in the morning? I might do that. Am I going to spend the night at her spot, not even asleep on the couch just like this, holding a shotgun? Probably not. I'm probably not going to do that. Nope.
On a light so his house. He slowly walked up the stairs to the kitchen, where he turned on a light so his presence would be known. He pointed the shotgun at the door that was making the noise, and to his horror, on the other side of the glass door, he saw the same frail-looking old man from earlier that afternoon. For a guy who was blatantly breaking and entering, the man looked shocked to see Alex, but after a couple of seconds, he turned around and ran off into the woods once again. He immediately went downstairs to wake up Katie and told her what had happened, and called the cops for the second time that day. Again, they took about 30 minutes to arrive, and this time, instead of searching just the house, they also searched the surrounding woods. However, the old man again was nowhere to be found. All they could do this time was suggest to Katie and Alex to go sleep somewhere else for the night, as obviously this house was not safe.
I was about to say, are you not worried about how weak your crib is, that all doors and windows are locked and this old ass nigga's still sneaking in? Are you not thinking about what security measures have not been taken? What is wrong with your crib that they breaking in?
Alex realized that they probably should have done this after the first time of seeing him, but he was kind of just going along with Katie. Obviously, he realized this wasn't the best first date, but he was just happy that the two of them were okay. The cops left, and so Alex and Katie sort of said their goodbyes, and Katie went to go spend the night at her friend's house. Alex hung around for a little while longer to call his brother and tell him about what had happened. A few minutes later, sitting in his car on the phone with his brother and about to pull away, he saw someone move out of the corner of his eye. He noticed it was the same old man standing in front of the house watching him. He put the pedal to the floor and told his brother what was happening, sort of as it was happening. After he got off the phone with his brother, he debated calling Katie and telling her what had happened. He didn't really want to, knowing that it might scare her, but ultimately he decided he probably should. Although he did end up going on a couple of dates with Katie after that, he said he never fully got over the incident, and they eventually broke things off. According to Alex, Katie never went back to that house alone.
Why did that nigga do that? What do you mean you just dealt with a nigga breaking into your the crib you in twice? You gonna go back to the car and you're just gonna like chill in the whip, just let me get this debrief off. Like, you don't even want to do that while driving? You just gotta get the debrief off parked in the car? People be killing me, bro.
In 2015, Ryan Nolan was 20 years old and was enjoying all that Tinder had to offer. Aside from the occasional bad date where he got stood up or just didn't connect with the girl he met up with, he was pretty happy with the way things were going for him on the app overall. One weekend in the winter, he made plans to visit some friends at Indiana University in Bloomington. Just to hang out, go out, and have fun. The first night he was there, everything went according to plan, and Ryan had a blast partying with his buddies. At some point during the weekend, he figured he might as well get on Tinder to try and meet up with a cute girl in Bloomington and see where things went. Like usual for Ryan, it didn't take long for him to get a match, and after talking to this girl named Jane for a little less than a day, they started making plans to meet up that same evening.
Plain Jane.
Jane was pretty attractive and fun to talk to, so he thought, why not? After letting his friends know he was going to meet up with his Tinder date, he left the apartment and made the 5-minute drive to her place. As soon as he got to the building, he texted Jane in the app and asked her which door he was supposed to go in. He waited for her to respond as he sat in his car, but soon realized that was kind of stupid, and so he got out of his car and started walking around the complex to hopefully give her an idea of where he was, and maybe he'd see her outside.
What? You pulling up on an unknown and you're saying it's stupid to wait in the whip? You're saying I would much rather just walk around this unknown area.
Outside her door. After a while, as he was walking, Jane finally responded, and Ryan finally could walk to the right door. He stepped in front of it and texted her back to meet him at the door and let him in, assuming the door would be locked. Keep in mind, it was about 10 p.m. in the dead of winter. He looked back and forth from his phone screen to see if she responded, back to the door to see if she was answering it. That's when he noticed movement from the corner of his eye coming from one of the windows. He took a better look and saw what looked like 4 different people looking at him through the blinds. He thought it was pretty creepy, but he also didn't know that window was to Jane's specific apartment. It could have been one of her neighbors or something, and he also wasn't in the best part of town, so he kind of just brushed it off. He again texted Jane to ask her where she was.
Yeah, 4, like, those better be 4 feminine eyes. Like, I need to be looking and be like, oh, it's you and your homegirls, you and your roommates. You see me pull up, you like, oh, damn, this him? Nah, those was probably 4 grown men staring saying, damn, do you want to kill this nigga or chop him up? You feel me? Like,
a minute later, his phone dinged, and it was her replying that the front door to the complex was already open.
2 times. We watching 5 most disturbing Tinder meetups.
Especially in this part of town. He walked in and shut the door behind him.
He what?
Complex. Less than a minute later, his phone dinged, and it was her replying that the front door to the complex was already open. He was kind of surprised that she would leave the door unlocked so late at night, especially in this part of town.
He just started talking to her on Tinder this same day. He pull up, see 4 eyes outside the crib, and she say, door open. He go, shit, this a freebie. That's not free cool. That's free death.
He walked in and shut the door behind him. There was only one dim light, so he couldn't really see anything and was fidgeting around the wall looking for a light switch. Almost immediately, he heard a voice behind an apartment door whisper, "He's right outside the door." That's when he realized the window he saw outside was to Jane's apartment. It was just to a different room. He got a strong gut reaction telling him he was in danger, and he quickly sprinted out of the complex. Now running, he went to his car and hightailed it out of there as fast as he could. The whole way back,
Sam,
he
we
couldn't
went
stop
braids.
thinking about what would have happened to him had he continued further,
went
thinking
cornrows.
some sort of Jane was actually in there. He was starting to realize that Jane probably didn't exist at
Nah, a
all,
lot of
and
niggas
that
are
thought
doing
alone
anything
sent
for some
shivers down his
punani.
spine.
Y'all gotta get right,
When
bro.
he got back to his friend's place, he
Prime example, little tangent. Hey, listen, I ain't gonna speak on the whole situation because that's neither here nor there. That got nothing to do with me. But all I'm saying is that nigga Tyler would have never been in there had he been lower to his bid. Let's start there. Now listen, if niggas want to go cheat, go do you. Niggas want to be loyal, go do you. But like, that whole situation would have been overly avoided had he been with his bid. Just stay with your girl, man. And if you gonna be doing that, just go ahead, leave her. Cause I can't lie, that nigga's gross, bro. Listen, man, black men still don't cheat. He don't count. But listen, that nigga's gross. Cause I can't lie, doing all that, he came out on stream and he said, y'all, I definitely didn't essay this woman. It was consensual, but I most definitely cheated on my girl. He came out and he said that to like 20K people. And then he gonna post on his story, yeah, my fault, bae. That shit was whack. You know, these girls be so evil and jealous. Like, God, bro, I need to find one who not gonna snitch on me next time I cheat. That's what he
everything
posted
to them about what had happened.
Steve!
But they ultimately didn't really take him that seriously and kind of assumed he was just overreacting about the whole thing. A little later that evening, they went and got a few beers, and right before he went,
this calm addict setup. If my shit was set up like this, where it was like slanted to one side, I would do that. But the double side, I think I decided I'm gonna damn, nah, that's too low. I couldn't do my bed right there. But I went projector on the wall. I couldn't go TV. No. I get why he had to. That's one of those. If you had to choose, one's way worse than the other. So I get it, but it's like, dude, the fact that that's the scenario you in is just so crazy. Like, that's so crazy. I wonder how it must have been for the girl when the POV hit. Like, damn, yo nigga cheated, and he didn't just go. It wasn't like the girl was overly on his body and he was schmiz, so he just went. He apparently took it. Man,
to bed, he got an ominous text from
that's some yuck
Jane
shit right there.
saying, "Where did you go? I've been waiting for you all night." Immediately, he blocked the number and went to sleep. He never found out who exactly was waiting for him in that apartment, but if one thing's for sure, he knew it wasn't a girl named Jane.
Am I wrong? I feel like you got a troll there. Like, if it's me, they was just on some weird shit, and then I ended up going home, I'd be like I feel like I'm not blocking there. I might say some more extra shit. I might try and get some info.
In 2021, Abe was dumped by his long-term girlfriend.
Who?
In 2021, Abe was dumped by his long-term girlfriend. The experience left him pretty bruised up, but after a while, he decided to get back out there and start dating again. Abe was more on the shy side, and so he wasn't the best at asking girls out.
Okay.
He wasn't exactly sure why, but either way, it wasn't his strong suit. When Abe had met his ex 6 years earlier...
God, this shit is killing me, bro. What? I swear in the other ones, he didn't say the name as much.
Tinder and other dating apps were just becoming popular, so online dating was pretty unfamiliar to him. But now he was single, and so he was pretty excited to try it out for the first time.
Okay.
He had a few friends that had found success on dating apps, and so he was pretty optimistic. But after a few months of using Tinder, he realized online dating wasn't at all what he thought it would be. He only managed to meet up with one girl in a park, and after 20 minutes, she played the classic phone call move, claiming she had gotten called into work. As you can probably guess, he never heard back from her again.
Damn. I can't lie, that would hurt my feelings, like, so severe. That would actually hurt my feelings. Like, you pulled up, you said, off looks, okay, I'm here for it, I'll stay. 20 minutes in off of raw convo, you said, I gotta go. And that's really after 15, because, you know, after 15, she started thinking, damn, I can't be here no more. Okay, what's my out? I'd be so hurt. Like, damn, I'm sorry,
twin. He was about to call it and just give up on dating apps completely when he got matched with a girl named Danny. She was a really pretty girl who he knew was way out of his league and had a sneaking suspicion that he was being catfished or played by one of his friends. He'd heard many stories of catfishing, and at one point he thought for sure Danny was going to be some 50-year-old dude. But because he didn't have many other options, and he was thrilled at the small possibility of Danny being who she said she...
Yo, listen, like, we got to an age where we were able to get past, you know, like, catfishing being this crazy thing. Like, now you can just kind of tell, but, like, with how gross AI's getting, like, is that shit gonna get bad again? Is niggas finna start AI catfishing? Is that what they gonna start doing now? Cause I can't lie, it be some AI videos, I gotta squint a little bit. If I don't see that Sora AI, I might think that shit real. So this might get bad for some niggas.
They talked for
an AI rapper? I have not seen
agreed
that.
To meet at a local park, which Abe thought would be a perfect spot for a first date. There was this big lake in the middle.
That's so insane. Like, what are we doing? We're keeping that?
Which he thought would be
That's okay?
romantic. They agreed to meet up at 5 p.m. when the both of them had gotten off of work. A little after 5, she messaged him saying she was walking to the pavilion where all the picnic tables were. He looked over to his left out of his car window, and sure enough, there was the girl from the Tinder pictures. She was actually real. A newfound nervousness knowing that she was actually real, Abe got out of the car and walked up to her. They were able to talk for a few hours, and actually had some pretty good chemistry between the two of them. Abe honestly couldn't believe he was pulling it off. Later that evening, as their talk was starting to wrap up, they decided to go for a walk on one of the trails, not wanting to end the date. And even though it was starting to get
AI's
dark
gonna
out,
fry
they
us so
decided
bad.
to do
Like,
it.
each day we're dead ass getting closer to iRobot, and niggas don't give a fuck. I'm confused. I'm so confused.
Normally, Abe would never have agreed to walk in the dark with a stranger he had just met online. But he felt calm with Danny for some reason. He trusted her. They even held hands, and for the first time since...
I've been seeing it, niggas are out here doing ram spreads. Like, that shit's a real thing. That shit's expensive as fuck now. Bro, we're, like, I'm pissed, low-key. Back when I was in high school, I was like, oh my gosh, I know what ChatGPT is, and my professors don't. I'm the fucking one. Now, it's getting to a point. And I'm blown because it's like, dude, why couldn't I grow up, like, why couldn't I have been born in, like, the 90s, you know, to the point where I'm like, by now I'm like damn near in my 30s, you know, by the time AI get real bad, I'll probably be an old nigga, I probably won't care as much. It's like, dude, I'm dead ass going into my prime, and this shit's just getting worse and worse.
he had been dumped.
It's like I was a CS major originally, and it's like, damn,
bro, for a long
tech
time
just finna get gross.
Until it was pretty much completely dark, at which point Danny suggested that they turn around and start making their way back to the parking lot. For the first few minutes, the walk back was perfect. They had a few more good conversations, and it felt like the chemistry was continuing to grow. However, that's when things took a turn for the worse.
What happens?
They weren't far from the parking lot when Abe noticed what looked like a man standing in the walkway, just watching them from a distance. The guy was just standing there, which obviously wasn't normal, and he could barely see him from the distance.
So wait, to Zerth and I guess any other, masculine, like, male people in the chat, just a question of thought. And I guess to my ladies out there, y'all can also answer like from the opposite side, but it's y'all first date. Let's say y'all been texting 2 days before this, maybe a week before this, y'all just first date. As a man, is the man entitled to protecting you in this situation, or is this a free-for-all? Like, is this one of those like, shit, that nigga comes, everybody just gotta, it's just, who gets away? Who gets away here? Because I feel like it's definitely tricky, because it's like, damn, I'm not about to die for this woman. I really don't know her for real, But it's like, damn, I was raised by women, I kind of got to step in and protect, it's two sides. I really don't know which way to lean. I really don't. There's one me and I don't know her. Let's start there. And she might have did track in high school, but there's an 80% chance I'm faster than her. Let's start there. Let's start there.
So he started to wonder if it was just his imagination.
Yeah,
he
you
didn't
gotta
say anything
run
to Danny at first, but as they got closer, with the help of the faint light of the moon shining through the trees, he realized it was a person. Danny froze before Abe could say anything, and that's when he asked her if she could see the man, and she said that she could. That's when Danny shouted at the man and asked him if he needed anything, but
this is my... Ooh! I absolutely hate when it's a situation like this. No, he didn't shout. She shouted. I hate situations like this. It's like, yo, why the fuck did you just do that? Why did you just do that? I'm going to give y'all a quick story time. It's me, Earl, and one of our female friends. This may be like freshman year of college. We in ATL. It's late night. We just left the move. We heading to Waffle House. We walk in Waffle House because on Georgia State campus, it's technically the city. Like, it's still the city, but it's campus-y. Like, the library's here, the dorms are here, shit like that, right? It's late as fuck. We walking to go get some Waffle House. This nigga is walking this way. He's walking towards us. Hanging out the pocket. I ain't gonna tell you what's hanging out the pocket, but we know what's hanging out the pocket. Nigga in a real ATL voice, he like, say shout it, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, let me get that number. Like, that's his campaign. Like, that's what he's doing. He's really on some like, yo, like, let me get that. And she's sitting here like, boy, what the fuck? No? And I'm sitting, I'm like, yo, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm a hoe. Maybe I'm a hoe. I'm looking at her and I'm like, just give this nigga your number. Like, deadass, just give this nigga your number. We still walking. Like, that's what I'm saying. Give him a fake number and walk away. There's so many options you can do. You could say your full number word for word and change the last 2 digits and he gonna call a random person. There's so many options you could have went, and you over here trying to argue with this nigga. And it blows me because it's like, you gonna argue with this nigga, but anything happens, it's me. It's me and Earl. Like, it's us. You feel me? Because if he called right there, now all three of y'all, damn. You right, but like, shit. Me, I'd just go IG. Throw the IG. Throw the IG. You could throw the right IG and just not follow back. Like, that's nothing. You feel me? And it's like, I don't know, bro. Like, I'm just telling her in the like, as the situation, I'm like, just get that nigga your number. Nigga, you're not gonna call him. Like, you can block him right after. You feel me? One time I gave them my mom's and she sent a voice note lecturing the dude. That's the last time I did that. Wow. I can't lie. Katie, you dead wrong. Giving your moms? You can't give yours, but you gonna give my dukes? That's insane.
The man just continued to stand there, staring at them. Abe was a bit taken aback by this, thinking they should just sneak away rather than make some giant scene.
Nah, niggas will move around the
He
block.
thought this would put them at a better chance of being attacked, but he also didn't want to seem too scared in front of Danny. He tried to write off the whole thing as some idiot trying to play a joke on them, doing his best to hide the fear in his voice as he also yelled out. Danny reluctantly nodded towards the man.
That's a situation like, as a man, you gonna go through it. You dead ass gonna be scared. Like, you're dead ass gonna be scared, but you just gotta and you just gotta sound like all the hoe in your body. You gotta push that shit away, and you gotta say, I'm gonna demand, I'm gonna speak, I'm gonna, you know what I'm saying, address what's going on.
Ensuing that they should keep going. And so Abe did so. He walked with her. He continued to pray that the man was just playing a joke on them, or that he would just turn around and leave them alone. But the guy didn't move at all. To make matters worse, they could now clearly see that he was concealing something behind his back.
I'm out. It's the middle of nowhere. We in the fucking woods. And it's just this random nigga standing in the woods concealing something. I have to leave. I have to go. I can't be here.
When they were about 10 feet away from him, the man finally moved his hands from behind his back and pointed a hunting knife at them. In a low and rough voice, he commanded them to turn around and put their hands above their head.
I'm gonna be real. You're not, no. No. You point a gun towards me, okay, yeah, you could probably have what I have. A knife, and we already at a distance. Unless you Usain Bolt, dare I say, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm getting out of here. Danny, I hope you're fast, honey, because I'm getting out of there. I'm getting out the door.
Abe sort of froze up, not realizing the reality of the situation he was in.
Fight or flight.
He honestly had no clue what to do.
Fight, flight, or freeze, apparently.
Before, and at that moment, he knew he was in very real danger. And that's when he suspected Danny of setting him up. He kind of looked over at her and wondered if she really could be behind this. However, that thought quickly left his head when
no nigga on no anime shit gonna be able to throw the hunting knife with good enough accuracy to pierce my shit. I'm not believing that. I'm getting out the deal.
Danny started to aggressively argue with the guy. Before Abe could even process what was happening, she started running at the armed man.
What? Danny, you what?
Right before she reached him, she kind of threw her body at him and managed to knock him over. As soon as the man reached him, she kind of threw her body at him and managed to knock him over. As soon as the man hit the ground face up, she shouted for Abe to run. Abe, kind of now even more taken aback by what he was seeing, just...
What? I can't lie. Call me like this might be an insane take. I think I'd feel hella emasculated right there. You go run at the nigga, push him down, and then you go tell me to run? What? I think I would definitely feel like, am I a hoe? Did she just go protect me and I'm sitting here getting told to run? And then I'd probably run. Like, I'd probably go home after that.
Stood there, but finally started to run. He didn't want to leave Danny alone, but he didn't really need much more convincing. A couple of seconds later, Danny managed to get up and caught up to Abe. They could...
Okay, so, wait. Wait. Okay, so just off of, like, what I was able to, you know what I'm saying, put together, Danny's likely in this picture. Danny is likely one of these women. Might be her. Nah, I think it's her. I can't lie. I think it's her. Danny is apparently one of these women because I don't know. I'm taken aback. What do you mean? She sees a nigga pull out a knife, argues with the nigga, runs at him, pushes that nigga to the ground like a hoe, tells you to run. You start running, so you get a head start too. You a grown-ass man and got a head start running. And then she gonna turn and catch up to you? What? Nah, Abe, you gotta marry Danny. I can't lie, you have to. There's certain people like what? What super soldier serum did she take?
Both clearly hear the man running after them as they made their way off the trail and sort of down this shortcut towards the parking lot. As soon as they got there, they both threw themselves into Danny's car and drove off, not even checking if they're...
Nah, deadass. It's some things that I can't... What's good, Aura? No, let me see, because this might be her. Yes, this is accurate depiction of Danny. Accurate depiction. This right here. And now it's really just so many fucking levels to it, to where it's like, I can't lie, like, Abe, you dead wrong. Cause listen, she made first contact with the robber. She put hands up first. She then caught up to you while you were trying to run away, so she's faster than you. Then y'all niggas are actually trying to leave the area, and you didn't get in your car, and you're the driver. You became passenger princess and hopped in her whip as she skirted away. Abe, we gotta listen, bro. Like, it's certain shit we gotta step up with. This, I'm not referring to 2 times here. I'm referring to 5 most disturbing Tinder dates. Abe, we gotta do better.
There was anyone behind them as they pulled out of the parking lot. As they picked up speed and were starting to actually drive off, Abe looked in his rearview mirror, and that's when he saw the man with the knife in his hand still standing there. He was standing alone in the parking lot, again just staring at them as they drove off. Another thing they did notice is that there were other cars in the parking lot.
Yo, is that Frost?
There were 3 other ones. This made them think that the guy may have had other accomplices with him.
How are you, brother?
They were a safe distance away. They called the police and reported what had just happened. The cops arrived at the scene pretty quickly, but the man was long gone, and the only car left in the lot now was Abe's.
I'll never understand the police call, because it's like, they're not going to be there.
They decided to go on a late night dinner and stayed up all night talking about what...
And let me guess, Danny picked up the bill. Let me guess. Appreciate that, Frost. Hey, I'm going to hop in the Discord, like, you know, these days I be a little busy, but like, I still want to hop in the Discord. Yeah, Danny's picking up the bill right here. I already know.
This happened. It was almost like the shared sense of danger from the incident had brought them closer in some way, and despite his horror, Abe decided to just go with it. Fast forward to 2 years later, and Abe and Danny are now engaged.
I know it.
Whenever they're asked about how they met, they always have a laugh at people's reactions when they tell them that they met on Tinder and almost got killed on their first date.
Yeah, I could have told you they got engaged. I could also tell you that Danny take care of most of the bills, Danny drive, Danny pay the mortgage, Danny... I don't know. Like, Danny's the one. Abe just... Nah, Abe definitely cooked and clean.
Taylor had just gotten dumped by his girlfriend, and had also recently become a police officer. As a 21-year-old new cop, he had this sort of I'm invincible and I can take on anyone mentality. So when he downloaded Tinder and matched with a good-looking girl named Brianna, who was way out of his league, he assumed things would go great for him. After getting to know her a while on Tinder, they finally set up a date to meet. Brianna had met...
I wonder if that gets you more or less hoes. Like, if you text it on Tinder, like, yeah, you know, I'm 12. I am federal. Like, that is me. That's me, yeah. Super casual.
Mentioned our house had this great open field to sort of just look at the stars, hang out, and talk, and she offered for it to be their first date location. Taylor thought it was as good a spot as any and agreed. When the night came for them to meet, he was pretty excited to pick her up, and she seemed pretty excited as well as she got into
we gonna end on a dash cam vid, and
as
then
I'm probably gonna... the field, Taylor knew it was gonna be a great night. They had lucked out with the weather, and there were a ton of stars out. And it was this huge, peaceful, open space with some nice woods, there were deer, and there were even other wildlife visible in the distance. It was the textbook perfect spot for a first date. However, as soon as Taylor parked the car, he noticed some really dim headlights in the distance. It looked like a van, but he wasn't entirely sure.
Hell no.
When the vehicle got closer, he confirmed that it was a van, and he was a bit confused thinking they were the only ones on the property. As the van got closer, it didn't look like it was stopping, and it was in perfect head-on collision line with the parked car they were in. But as it got closer, it finally hit the brakes and stopped almost headlight to headlight with their parked car. It pretty much blocked Taylor's car from moving forward at all. Brianna seemed to have a confused look on her face, and so assuming she didn't know who it was, he kind of prepared for the worst and told her to stay in the car while he went to see what was going on. He grabbed his flashlight and walked up to the van, where he saw a pretty big dude sitting in the driver's seat.
Dude, you not wearing your uniform or with your gun. He asked him
what was going on and if he could back up his car a little bit. Surprisingly, the man was actually really polite, and in a low, kind voice, he said he was the owner of the property and didn't mean to scare them at all. According to the man, who introduced himself as Bob, he had been having trouble with poachers on his property and just wanted to make sure Taylor and Brianna weren't going to be shooting at the deer or hurting any of the other animals on the property. Taylor, a bit taken aback by this, lowered his voice to a more calm level. He smiled politely and assured him that they only came out to look at the stars and the wildlife. Bob seemed to be pretty happy with his explanation, and a few seconds later he wished them a nice evening and drove away.
Okay.
Taylor, pretty happy with how he had handled things, went back to his car ready to enjoy his first date.
I know he felt like the man.
However,
getting back to the whip.
Brianna, for whatever reason, didn't seem to be on the same page, and he noticed something very off about her behavior. Instead of actually talking to him and enjoying the date like they were just before, she was now texting nonstop, and when Taylor asked her who she was talking to, she refused to answer.
Refused to answer? Hitting the unlock car button. Like, the door is getting unlocked. I'm asking you who you're texting and you're refusing to answer? What is that? That's not even on no, like, I need to know who you're telling. Like, fuck. That's not even on no, like, I need you to tell me who you're texting. That's just like, okay, you couldn't just say, like, hey, my friend. I'm not going to ask to see. Like, that's cool. Just like, what the fuck you mean? Yo, who are you texting? I'm not telling you. Yeah, so we're going to line them. Okay, so park behind that car and then make sure you brought the ski mask. Like, I'm not doing that. What are you talking about? You're not going to tell me I'm not texting nobody? Like,
weird,
what?
But he chalked it up to her nervousness or whatever and tried his best to strike up a fun conversation with her. About an hour later, he saw the same headlights coming towards them again, this time at a much faster pace than before.
Nope.
Feeling that he and his date were now in serious danger, he hopped in his truck and moved to a more defensive position. After the van screeched to a stop inches away from Taylor's car, even closer than before, Brianna jumped out of the truck and ran towards the van. Taylor at first was sort of confused, thinking why she would run to this van that seems to be a threat to them. However, that's when Taylor realized
threat to
set
you.
up. Thinking quickly, he got out of his truck and commanded them to get on the ground. Obviously, though, neither Brianna or who he now realized was Bob complied. To Taylor's horror, Bob then charged at him and knocked him on the ground. Using all of his strength, Taylor managed to get up on his back and get up before Bob could grab him again. Everything was happening too quickly for him to process, but he knew he had to do something quickly or something really messed up.
Okay, like, really confusing for the girl choosing to line this nigga. You texting, you probably be doing this. Right? You choosing to line a nigga, and you gonna say, yeah, this police officer who fucking with me, I'm gonna line him. Really? That's the nigga you wanna line? Really?
What happened to him? That's when he saw Brianna, who a second ago he trusted, grab the metal pipe from Bob's van. She sort of shouted at him that they had a gun, but that if he gave them all his money and his truck, he would walk away unharmed. Now, again, Taylor had this sort of I'm invincible kind of mindset, and so he refused, to which Brianna started to cry, saying that she didn't want to hurt him if she didn't have to.
Oh yeah, you got it. I'm typing in the database for sure.
He finally revealed to them he was a cop, and he drew his concealed gun and commanded them to get on the ground. After a moment of shock, they finally complied, and Taylor scrambled to call 911. Just as he was telling dispatch that he had 2 suspects at gunpoint and needed backup immediately, Bob and Brianna got up and quickly started sprinting away into the darkness. Even though he knew it was a dumb choice at the time, Taylor initially started chasing them and ran into the woods around the field.
Hell no.
The chase lasted maybe 30 seconds when Taylor heard 3 loud pops and saw a muzzle flash in the distance. Now feeling true panic for the first time that night, he sprinted back to his car and put the pedal to the metal until he was a safe distance away. Minutes later, he went back to the house where he had picked up Brianna, called dispatch again, and asked the cops to come to that location. As soon as his sergeant and field training officer got there, obviously knowing who he was, they sort of gave him crap about having to call the cops. When he really was the cops, he was just off duty. However, at the same time, they did recognize the seriousness of the situation and got in a patrol car and all drove down towards the field. To everyone's surprise, the van was still there. To Taylor's disappointment, his sergeant ordered him to stay in the car, keep his mouth shut, and only come out if they were getting shot at. Although the sergeant and training officer didn't find any sign of Bob or Brianna, they did find drugs in the center console of the car. But that wasn't all they found. When they came back to the patrol car, they weren't doing any more joking around, and the both of them looked pale and horrified at what they had just seen.
It was a body?
They told Taylor to follow them back to the van, and after peering inside, he saw several knives, duct tape, lighter fluid, a decent amount of rifle ammo, handcuffs, and what looked to be dried blood. In the front passenger side, they found an AR-15 style rifle and 2 more handcuffs.
They work.
The atmosphere obviously immediately changed as the three of them looked at each other wide-eyed. The team called for backup, and a few minutes later, detectives arrived at the scene, which is where it was revealed that the plates were stolen and that the van had been reported stolen a few weeks prior to the incident. Taylor does still get picked on by his supervising officers about the incident to this day, but he's just happy no one got hurt.
Okay.
Since that night, he never went back to online dating again.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was going to ask, no way they didn't leave fingerprints, no way there wasn't better evidence, and also, no way you're a fucking police officer and you don't vet the person you're going on a date with more, or maybe think, hey, maybe our first date shouldn't be watching the stars in the middle of the forest alone. Like, I just feel like as a police officer, this nigga's survival instincts are not high. They can't be high.
In 2019, Sabrina matched with a guy on Tinder named Nick, who she thought was really cute. Because she'd had plenty of good experiences using dating apps in the past, her guard was a little down, and she rarely let her friends know what she was doing, who she was with, or where she was.
He gotta be a mall cop.
For the first couple of dates with this guy, they went to get coffee or on walks outside. After about 2 weeks of dating, Sabrina decided she really liked Nick. He was friendly, good looking, he was funny, he had his life together, and they also had great chemistry together. For their third date, Nick suggested that Sabrina should come over to his place to have some wine. Feeling safe and comfortable enough to be alone with this guy at this point, Sabrina agreed.
Little nightcap.
When the night of their date finally came, she went over to Nick's house, excited to get to know him even better. The two joked around for a bit and started talking like on their previous dates. After a while, Nick poured her a glass of wine. At this point, Sabrina thought things were going really well, and she felt comfortable in his company. However, after a while, at about 8 p.m., Sabrina started feeling a little funny. She felt almost sleepy and a little weak. She had trouble stringing a sentence together.
Nick, you dog!
In the past, Sabrina had been roofied once before at a college party, and so she immediately recognized the effects as soon as they kicked in.
That's so sad. You recognize the effects of getting roofied. It's happened to you before. Yo, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
But at the exact same time, now realizing the danger of the situation she was in, she pretended she was feeling fine. From her past experience, she knew she only had a few minutes before she passed out and was left vulnerable and at the mercy of this man that she thought she could trust. She knew she had to do something, and so at around 8:15, Sabrina told Nick as quickly and energetically as possible that she needed to use the bathroom, trying her best to make it seem as if nothing was off. Fortunately, Nick didn't seem to notice anything strange about her behavior, and once she was inside the bathroom, she locked the door immediately and called the police. As Sabrina sat there, her surroundings starting to blur, she told them that she had been drugged and that they needed to come get her out before something terrible happened. Less than a minute after giving the cops Nick's address and hanging up the phone, she was completely out. But because she was still under the effects of the drug, she felt herself slide in and out of consciousness during this time. All she remembers is the police putting a bag over...
Nigga said, nigga didn't even give her a chance to go. He ain't even try to work. He went straight to, she's gone. That's so sick, bro. That's so sick, bro. Now, I can't lie. This nigga's not the videos we're watching, these niggas are bad at being bad people. Like, what do you mean? You're just gonna say, oh yeah, go to the bathroom, you're good. Damn, man. She get out. That's a bad person right there.
Bathroom and into the patrol car. Following this entire incident, Sabrina was understandably traumatized, but at that point, she wasn't even aware of how badly things could have ended for her had she not reacted as quickly as she did. A few days later, she received a call from the police asking her to come down to the station to give her statement. Once there, she mentioned to the cops that the only thing she remembered clearly was that they had put a bag over her head, but that she could have imagined it due to the effects of the drug. As soon as she said this, the cops looked at each other uncomfortably and confessed that they had indeed put a bag over her head. Sabrina looked at them, kinda confused. They quickly explained that it was actually to protect her. When they walked into the apartment, they saw that Nick had set up something extremely disturbing for her in the living room, and that seeing it would have been too traumatizing for Sabrina. She immediately felt a shiver go down her spine. Because Nick was thrown in jail following the incident, she never found out what exactly he had prepared for her.
But you gonna tell us though, right?
She kind of sees this as a good thing. After this whole nightmare, Sabrina deleted
Tinder. No way they don't tell us.